Alright, so in this video we're going to talk about how to get your file from the flash drive to the parts that need to be 3D printed folder. Again, right there on the desktop of this computer, you'll see a parts that need to be 3D printed, and I have a file on a flash drive that I want to put on there. So generally we go to File Explorer, we scroll down until we find the proper flash drive. I would appreciate if there was only one flash drive in the computer at a time. It would make life a lot easier. This is my file right here, Keychain. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off, and I'm going to go to parts that need to be 3D printed right here, and I'm going to paste that file in there. Okay? Now, one thing that I would like you guys to see as you're saving your files is this file is named Keychain. I want to see your last name in front of every file that you put on here, so I know which file is yours. Actually, I want to see two things. I want to see your period and your last name. So if this is for manufacturing, then I'm going to go ahead and click on this to rename it. I'm going to go to the beginning, and I would type in 3, and then Bradley, and then Keychain. So now my file is called 3 Bradley Keychain, and that way, if you're not able to print yours during class, I know which class it came from, and I'll put it in a special place so when you come back, that we can get that thing going. Okay, so now that's ready. It's in the parts to 3D printed folder, and I can go ahead and get rid of the flash drive, or you can get rid of the flash drive, because now it's actually on the computer. All right, next order of business, we need to choose which. Well, we don't have to worry about this yet, but first thing we should do is bring in what we want to print. So import, and again, I'm going to go ahead and go to desktop, and then parts needed to be 3D printed. There's a folder right there. Double click. And again, there's my 3 Bradley Keychain, and click open. Okay? It brings it in. Whether or not it's correct or not is up to you. I mean, this is obviously not how I would want to 3D print this. And over here on the large 3D printer is a list of shortcuts. And there's a couple of them I'd like you to know. One of them is Control L. Okay? So I gotta hit Control L down here on the keyboard. And what happens when you hit Control L is it allows me to select something on the bottom, and it's going to put that on the face of the bed. So when I click that, that is now on the bed. Okay, so Control L does that, and you can see that's right over here. Control L is place surface on the bed. Another one that I want you to use quite often is Control R. That's center and arrange. So if you watch this and I hit Control R, now my item is centered on the bed. Okay. And so let's say, you can see I'm using the Flash Forge. And so, if I want to use the Flash Forge, really the only thing that I need to check is my process settings. So I go ahead and click on Edit Process Settings, and I look at my extruder. I never really make any changes on the extruder page because this is kind of default to the machine. It's going to use the left extruder. The right extruder, I don't even have the tip on there, so you're going to use the left extruder. You don't ever mess with that one. Layer. One of the big things I tell you to look at on layer is top solid and bottom solid. Sometimes you want more or less bottom or top solid layers. A lot of times I might put 5 top solid layers, and that just means it's going to be 100% infill for the top 4 layers is really what that means. Okay. Additions, just leave this alone. There are times when you have something that may not have a lot sticking to the bed where we might need to use a raft. If you don't know what a raft is, please look that up. That should hopefully be covered in one of your Simplified 3D videos. Infill. 15% is generally what I want to use, and 10 is usually the minimum, and 100 is the maximum. 100 is obviously a completely filled in solid plastic, and the problem with that is it uses a lot of plastic. It makes for strong parts, but a lot of times we're going to use anywhere between 10 and 20 to 25% infill. Very rarely will we use more than that. Okay. Support. This is not a type of file that requires support material, but if you did have a file that required support material, you would definitely want to check this box. Okay. Temperatures, leave the temperatures alone. I've got these set to go already. Cooling, G-code, scripts, I don't do a whole lot with these guys either, so we can kind of leave a lot of those guys alone. And you can see there are tons of different options here. Okay. Notice we're using PLA. That's what it says up there. We're going to leave that there. I don't mess with these. I have this on left extruder only. And again, we're on Flash Forge Creator Pro. Okay. If I were to go ahead and click OK, And now click prepare to print, and then begin printing over USB. You would hear the printer start to move, okay? And you can see it's starting to move right now, and so that is connected. Okay, last but not least, let's say I want to run this same part, but I want to run it on the other 3D printer. I would grab this guy here, and I would snap him over. I snap it over to this side, so that way they kind of match up with what side the 3D printers are on. I'm going to minimize it, and I'm going to open Simplify 3D again. Okay, here it is again. And then this guy I'm going to snap to the right. So now I've got them both set up. And this one just so happens to be on the flat, or on the Maker Gear version. So I'm going to make sure it's connected. So again, I'm going to go to Tools, Machine Control Panel, and here's this. Remember, the Maker Gear is COM3. So COM3, I'm going to click Connect, and I don't do anything until this is green. And again, I'm going to turn these guys on. And you can see they were already heating up. So 215 and 70, they're already on. They're good to go. I'll remove this just so you can see how to do this once again. Import. Mine is in parts that need to be 3D printed, which is on the desktop. Oops, sorry, you couldn't see that. I clicked on desktop up here. Parts that need to be 3D printed. There's my 3 Bradley keychain. Click open. And here we go again. Okay, Control L. Select on this guy, Control R, which should center that to my bed, and now I need to go to Edit Process Settings. Okay, it's on Maker Gear right here, so I'm good to go. I'm going to go ahead and check all of my settings. My layers are good. My additions, skirt and brim, I want that. That just does a little outline around the part, is really all a skirt or brim is. Infill 15%, that sounds good. I shouldn't need any support material. And the rest of these guys should be fine. I already have the temperature set up, don't mess with the temperatures. And we'll go ahead and click OK. And now that we're ready, we can hit prepare to print on this guy and begin printing over USB. And now this guy will start to move, and well, actually it has to heat up. And you can see they say preheating. This one actually says printing. This one says it's preheating the extruders. And you can see that they're both moving. And now you can leave them, and we can tell that what's printing on the screens. All right, so that's kind of a basic intro to both of these 3D printers.